In episode 15 of Epic Fail, who to thunk it? Flying seems to be a fairly big deal to players. Ian Hasekostas and Laura are going to be sitting down and doing an interview on Twitch the 6th of June, which is next Saturday. There's some interesting 6.2 currency changes. We're getting more mounts we can't use, some Heroes XP buff, and something about the movies coming up. All this and more, episode 15.
Fortune cookies say.
You're listening to the Epic Fail Podcast.
And welcome back. With us, as per usual, in the upper right-hand corner, we have Miss Scarlet.
I did not kill the butler with the rope in the corridor. When you said Miss Scarlet, I'm like, what? We're not included.
Oh,
I had no idea what you were talking about.
until she said the word butler, I was like, what?
Oh, okay.
I couldn't remember any of the names of any of the, the conservatory, I have not. So, anyways, I digress. Hello, world. I didn't kill anybody.
Okay, that's a plus.
Yet. Didn't kill anybody yet.
That you know of.
Yes, I was accidentally sleep killing people. It's like, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, look, I killed somebody again. No, I digress. Anyways, hi. How's it going?
What have you been up to this week?
I did some mount farming. No mounts dropped.
The circle of disappointment lives up to its name.
I only did... What did I do? Ulduar? I think that's the only thing I did, wasn't it?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
I was on Mumble with you two. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think I just did Ulduar. Anyways, no mounts. Some Hearthstone. I haven't done as much this week. And that's about it. No raiding not this week. Oh well.
And then we have up in the top left, Mr. Theory.
Hello, and I also don't have a clue. Anyway. This week actually did a lot in game. Got a lot of things accomplished. Played a couple games of Hearthstone. Got my ass kicked and shut it off. And WoW, actually, a couple of real quick things that happened for me this week. I actually went into LFR and tanked some LFR, which was interesting. Yes, and as anybody who's been listening for a while knows, I really didn't want to do that. But I had to go in for the Iron Assembly or whatever it's called in order to finish the quest. And I queue in, and there's not another tank. It's just me. So I soloed all three bosses. Solo tanked all three bosses, and it was fine. It was easy, which I was kind of surprised at how easy it was. But did that, got the quest done, so I got Garona, which is awesome. And finished on my rogue. I finished what is it? The one that's in the high mall. I forget what they're called that you have to collect.
The alligator stones.
Yeah, alligator stones. That's it. It's a lot of alligator stones. Poor alligators. Don't have any stones. But that's pretty much my week, man. It's been a good one. I've had a good time. I'm almost back to normal health. Still got a little bit of a cough, but other than that, I've had a good week.
Apparently you internet transmitted it because now I'm sick. So thank you. have a fever and stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you can keep it over there in Canada. I have a book to cover me. I'm good. So this week, I did LFR on my Warlock for Blackrock. Didn't do anything well. Just went in. My Shaman got enough gear to do Blackrock LFR. I'm still on the Apexis Crystal Daily part of that, but I'm doing Blackrock anyway. Other than that, mostly garrisons. I did my Circle of Disappointment on a couple characters. It lived up to its name on me too. And completely not Blizzard related, I went to go see Mad Max. Stopped at a bookstore, picked up this pretty thing.
Your thumb? What? What? Oh, got it. Yes, that pretty thing.
Yeah, I got me a new book, which I have the audio for, but I got the book. The book. Yes. So yeah, that's been my week.
I did get a mount. I forgot, but it wasn't a drop. But I bought the 50,000 gold, 5,000 Apexis crystal mount. It's ugly as.
Why did you buy it if it's ugly?
Because it's a mount.
Yep.
I had to have it.
Okay.
That's what you have to understand. If someone collects things, they collect them. They don't care how ugly they are.
I don't collect ugly things. I collect nice looking things.
I used to collect gargoyles, but they had to be ugly
They're
ones.
still cool looking. I mean, there's cool and there's ugly. To me, that's two different things.
No, mine had to be the ugly gargoyle. If they were cutesy in any way, didn't want it. They had to be like disfigured in the face or something.
That just makes it more cool. It doesn't necessarily make it ugly.
But then I moved across country twice, and I don't have them anymore.
Sad.
Yes. So that's what we've been up to this week. Yeehaw. So let's just go ahead and dive right into the show, shall we?
World of Warcraft.
Okay, so we got World of Warcraft. Since it was such a mostly a light news week, I thought we'd change it up a bit, and I know it's been getting a lot of flack for being kind of a expansion for the most part, other than leveling the first time. So I thought, first up, we would talk about what we actually do like about this expansion. And ladies first.
I like the raids. What I've seen of them, anyways. I didn't mind High Mall. Except that dude where you had to do the fire things, because that was dumb. But it's still a new mechanic that we've never seen before, so it's kind of cool. I haven't been able to do much raiding anymore, but I still like the what I got to see of Blackrock. And that's kind of it.
So the raids.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Mr. City?
That's a pretty short list. Mine's quite a bit longer. Yes, I do like the raids, and my list is going to kind of be prefaced by saying this: most of the things I like, there's still other things about it that I don't like.
Oh, it's okay. We'll get into that later.
Exactly. So the raids in general, love the raids, love the different fights, love the creativity they used, giving us different fights, which is nice because eventually you would think they'd kind of run out of ideas. So that was cool. Questing, like you talked about, to me was really, really good. The cutscenes that we got at the end of each quest zone were immensely epic, to the point where people were YouTubing them like as soon as the game was released. So I thought that was great, and I'll be honest with you, my favorite moment in WoW is a cutscene. Not from this expansion. There's a couple of probably in the top fives from this expansion, but Wrathgate from Lich King is literally my favorite moment in the game, and it's a cutscene. So the first one of those I saw in Warlords, I'm like, perfect, they did it right. This is controversial, but I like the fact that we didn't have flying until at least we were level capped. I think that that's the right thing to do. Whether or not it changes is a whole other discussion from that point on. I also I like the fact that as we went into each zone, we kind of built our own base. It seemed like not only were we going a new area to quest, but we were kind of setting up a fort kind of a thing in each little area, which to me kind of made it seem more of I'm in this area now, I made a mark in this area now, and I think that that really, really worked well. And in many ways, not always, but in many ways, I actually do enjoy the garrisons. And I think that in some of the garrisons, chores, so to speak, like the missions, they have a great opportunity, if they choose to do it, to incorporate them into mobile. And that would make it so that it would be less of a hassle when you're in game to do, and more of something that you could do outside of the game. So I don't know if they'll go that way. They probably won't. They probably will never do it. But I think that if they did, that would be very cool. But that's pretty much everything I can think of right now.
That was a longer list.
Yes.
Just a bit, yeah. I hope they don't make it a mobile thing, because then people aren't going to get any work done between Hearthstone and that.
So?
That's, no. People need to do their work when they're at work. I can understand, like, break or lunch or something, that's fine, but...
They could always make the missions be, a solid, 8 hours thing. Or, 6 hours, or whatever it was, so that you weren't having to check it every 10 minutes, but you check it twice a day, and you're good.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. 2, maybe 3 times.
Pretty much what I do now, but you know what I mean? Some of those quests are 15 minutes long, other ones are an hour, other ones are 2 days. It just depends on which one they are.
Yeah.
It also depends on what kind of followers you have.
Yep.
All I'm going to say to that is 2 epic mounts makes any quest fun. It's like, hey, here's your mythic Blackrock mission.
Half an hour.
You can have it in 2 hours. How does that sound?
A lot better than mine,
Yeah.
14 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah. Usually those are a one-day thing. What did I like? Questing through the first time. After that, it really lost a lot to me. Which, it always happens, but this time it just seemed like it lost more. The cutscenes, I definitely enjoyed those, and by the way, they released those publicly prior to the expansion coming out.
Hmm.
So the fact
Blizzard
that
did. I didn't know that.
yes, they were on the Blizzard website, but they had a little thing saying spoiler. If you click here, you're going to see a spoiler. Do not click here if you don't want to be spoiled. That kind of
I
thing.
had a minute.
And
You had to sit
which
through a
website is
black
that?
box that said
Yeah, it was
Battle-
on.
That Blizzard themselves, or
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it was on their website and everything. Yeah, leveling that first time, I didn't really care for Nagrand,
Hmm.
or Spires, but nobody likes Spires. Just too much. I mean, going after those treasures, you have to go all the way across the zone to find a hill, to start going all the way back up. And if you get a glider, jump across, no. No.
the middle, that little hole in the middle, and then trying to get through the path. I hate that area.
Yeah.
Most of the raid fights I enjoyed. Imperator, no. Too long, too many phases and such. It is too long of a fight. If it was
Do you think
the
they set a
end,
standard though for the end bosses where it's going to be a 10-minute fight at least
if
every
it was
time?
the end boss of the expansion, sure, 10, 15-minute fight. I can understand that. End boss of the first raid, 6, 7 minutes tops.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I just
It's
feel
just
like
too
that's
long. Yep, and like you guys both said, the encounters were mostly well done. There's a few I really don't care for. Maidens. It's 10 minutes of, okay, this is boring. Even when you go on the boat, I've been on the boat. And then however long you have left of, okay, we have to kill them before they kill us. That's where the fight is. Same with Mythic Beast Lord. 10 minutes of boring, or however long it takes to get to the end, and then the last phase.
So you think they'd have been better off with lower health pools and a higher enrage percentage?
I honestly don't know how they could fix that fight. But,
I like the boat idea. I think
Yeah,
going to
that
the boat
was cool.
fight something else is
and
kind
you
of
have
cool.
and you're on a timer over there because it'll start firing.
Yeah, it
that's
explodes
yeah.
after a while.
Yeah, not a problem there. Just having that long of, okay, this is boring, and then transition to, okay, now the real fight. But I'm tired. After 10 minutes of doing boring, I kind of zoned out.
And dodging bombs on the ground.
Yeah. Don't stand in the red, people. That's how you finish that part.
That kind of brings me to a question.
Yes.
Do you think our toons ever get tired of killing the same bosses every week?
I don't think that they understand that they're doing it every week. I think weekly reset literally means reset.
Your
You
brain
think
is
it
erased.
you think it resets their mind?
I think they're part of the Matrix.
Fair enough.
Maybe that's why I keep having to switch tunes.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright. So yeah, I mean, there's some other things I like. I like that there are like 48 mounts this expansion so far.
Except how many of them are flyers?
7. I counted.
I'm glad you counted. So 7 out of 48.
Yeah, it's not a huge percentage, but for an expansion that we lose flying, possibly forever, it should be none.
It probably should be 0. You're right.
I would forgive one, and that would be the collector's edition, because I don't think we need to have flying, but I understand your point from last week of people want to be able to use it.
Yep.
So I will forgive that one. You can have one. The other ones, Fell Firehawk.
Screwed up 6, Blizzard.
No, technically they screwed all 7, but that's not the point. And honestly, with this expansion, it didn't matter. I was on my Water Strider the entire freaking expansion.
You know, I still don't have one of those.
Yeah.
You don't have a water strider?
You go
No,
back
I
to
don't know.
Pandaria, go do the fishing stuff. All you have to do is do that. You get the Water Strider at the end. You
No
gotta pay
thanks.
some for it, but
That's
made-
too
You
grind
don't
for me.
actually have to fish, because I don't fish and I have the water strider. It
Yeah,
just
it's
takes a few days of skipping certain dailies.
it's just one of those things where it made questing so much easier because it's like, well, I could go around this lake, or just
That'll
go
be the
over
next
top
thing.
of it.
Play water mounts because they'll say that it makes the ponds too small.
Well, there goes my seahorse because it makes the oceans too small,
Yep. Gone.
and my turtle.
Oh, sea turtle. Damn it.
Wait, do you have
They'll
that
make it sea
seahorse that
browns
goes?
on the water.
I
Do you have
have
the seahorse
both.
that goes? You seriously?
I have both.
Did you buy the other one or farm it?
I farmed it, but I didn't get it that way. I got it for a birthday present from Now and X.
Mm.
So that's how I got it. But I was farming it. So anyway, since we're talking about flying, the forums kind of blew up this week. More than normal.
Yep.
Apparently, as was stated earlier, flying to people is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. A lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. The last time the forums had this kind of a reaction was when they first announced Real ID with people's real names on the forums. Which, thank you for fixing that, Blizz. That was a horrible idea.
Stalkers galore.
Yeah.
So,
So what's going to be really interesting is if this stays, or if we start hearing about it changing a little.
we're going to find out next week.
Well, we may find out a little bit next week. I don't think we'll find out anything definite next week.
No. Since, just to stick with the forum thing real quick. It is now up to 5 threads. Each thread can have 511 pages. And I think each page can have 30 posts on it.
That's a lot of posts.
That's a lot of math.
Yeah, that's a whole lot. Like I said, the last time it was anything that big was Real ID, and people were freaking out over that. Admittedly, forums will be forums. You're going to get the trolls and the, oh my god, Blizz, GG, I quit. Give me flying or I leave. No one cares. Honestly, if flying is the reason why you quit, see ya, goodbye. That being said, not flying has kept me out of game a lot more than normal.
Yep.
Out of game or just in your garrison?
Both.
So think about it this way. Realistically, before, when we had flying at cap level in MOP, how much time outside of raid did you literally spend on a maxed character? I'm not talking about level and alts. I'm just talking about on a maxed character. How much time did you spend? And you being a collector, it's realistically
A lot.
Even if I wasn't doing anything, I would spend a long time just flying around Pandaria. Like, just flying around, killing the rares, just sitting on random stuff in the air, in the trees. I don't do that now.
Yeah, I know since we're talking Pandaria, I went searching for all these random spots. Like, I heard rumors of the house from Up was in the game. I went to go find it. I heard of a flying ghost turtle up in Kunlei Summit.
Yes, he's awesome.
Yeah, I went and found it. Vault of Archivon, those 3 bosses in there.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one out in Pandaria. I went and go found him. Hugalon.
Hugalon is awesome.
Yes, he has a chance of dropping the best friend forever toy thing. But I mean, I spent a lot of time just, hey, what's over there? Hey, what's over there? Hey, what's over there? On top of my usual, okay, there's a rare here, there's a rare here, there's a rare here, there's a rare here. Ting, 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 ting. Oh, what's over there?
So do you think this expansion, because of the way that that's kind of taken away from you, you've spent more time on alts or more time out of game?
I've spent more time out of game.
More time out of game, definitely. My friend, for example, when I used to go, I don't know, just like I had a friend who came back to the game briefly, so I took them around flying when they couldn't fly yet around Pandaria, and I took them to like the better leveling spots and just stuff to see. And it's not the same if you're on a 2-seater riding mount and you're riding around and the mobs can attack them, and like, it's not the same.
That's a pretty valid point.
Yeah. And then with Warlords, I understand they want the treasures to be, some of them really hard to get, that kind of thing. But honestly, we're 6-7 months in. Most of us don't need them.
Or don't care anymore.
Don't care. So if that's the reason they don't want us to have flying, it's a pretty bad reason. The items that drop from them, minus the rare toy or something like that, which toys are toys, no player power. There's garrison resources.
Get one of them now.
Yeah, garrison resources. I'm capped on all but 1 garrison now, and that's because I finally brought my warrior up to level 91-ish. Got the garrison going, just so whenever I decide to level it, I will have the XP buff.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my shaman.
So there's no reason not to have flying other than, oh, we just don't want you to have it. Okay, fine. Tanan Jungle, or Biff Tannen Jungle, however you want to call it. Unless you're doing 88, you can't fly in there. That's not a problem. If they want to have a gameplay reason why, it already exists in game. In Pandaria, as a matter of fact. In 5.1, we got those down in south, those 2 quest hubs for the dailies.
Mhm.
And if you flew into the opposing side, they shot you down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since we're not fighting, the opposing team, we're fighting the Iron Horde or the Fell Iron Horde or whatever they're going to be going by now. Give them bigger cannons so they knock you back out of the zone. I know that exists.
That's a good idea.
So while you technically could fly, they have unlimited range vertically inside that zone, and then you get knocked back
So
out.
you're talking about making it so you can't fly in
Tanan Jungle.
Tanan, but not.
I'm fine with no flying in there because it's brand new. They worked really hard on the art, blah blah blah, and every other reason you can think of.
Yep.
But the rest of Draenor, there's no reason.
I agree. And I'm gonna come back to that in a second once we go on to the next couple of topics.
Yeah. So, yeah, flying is a big issue for a lot of people.
What else do you think they're going to be discussing in this interview? Because I mean, the flying is probably going to be 90% of what they talk about.
I don't know that they're going to talk about flying.
I do. They're going to have to.
I
I
think
think they'll
they,
avoid it.
I think they need to, but I think she's got it right. I think they're going to avoid it as much as they can.
That'll be interesting because everybody in the chat room and everybody who submits questions is going to be just drilling them with flying stuff.
Which is why I think they're going to. They've already said they're going to have a pre-approved list of what they can and can't talk about.
So this is what I expect. I expect that at the very beginning of this, they're going to make a statement regarding flying. And it'll either be we are reconsidering this, we're not taking it completely off the table, we are still giving it some thought, but for right now it's going to stay as is, something like that. So because of that, we're not going to be taking any questions on it because we are currently in progress thinking about what we're going to do with this moving forward. Something like that. I'm thinking that they're going to announce right at the beginning, because if they do that, then it makes sense. Otherwise, they're going to be dodging questions left and right, and the whole thing is just going to be a one big politician up there not trying to answer the question. So that's definitely not going to be a good thing.
Honestly, even if they put out a statement at the front, they're going to be dodging flying questions all.
True, but people like us who realize when they say something like that what that will actually mean are the ones that probably won't ask the questions. So I think it will limit the questions a
Yeah,
little
instead
bit.
of 100%, it'll be 98%.
Yeah, maybe more like 90, but still.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't. I mean, I would imagine they'll have some kind of information with the new zone, and some maybe even like a map, like just an overview map of this is this is what the zone looks like overall, and that doesn't actually zoom in and so you can see anything. It's just like the world map of it. But other than that, I can't think of anything that.
I got one other thing. Well, when does that movie that's made by that one company come out? What day is it?
Yes. There is
Oh,
Legendary
what's that?
Pictures, which is making the Warcraft movie, has a movie coming out soon.
Which is a couple of days after that, right?
Like
A little less than a week after that.
Yeah. It comes out the Friday after, so literally in 2 weeks.
So every time previously Blizzard had a major preview, who was the first one to release it?
Well, here's the problem. While I will say Blizzard, because it's freaking Blizzard and they would release all their stuff, they can't release the preview to a movie without the company's permission, and I can guarantee you they want to drive up the views for Jurassic World.
Okay. So this is my thought, because I agree with what you're saying. I think we're going to get a snippet.
Don't you
Not
think
the
they
whole
would
thing.
do more something than just a Q&A for that?
Yes and no, because of the time frame.
Yeah, I could. I don't I'm not going to expect it. But
Oh,
if they want to if they want to get rid of people complaining about flying, that would definitely be the best thing they could do.
yeah, look at this mud over here. Don't worry about this mud over here. We're good.
Yeah.
So
Pay no attention to the man behind the book cover.
I have a question.
42.
I wish. I don't know. I just don't. I really can't picture from a business standpoint how the no flying decision is made. Like, I don't understand what would prompt them. Like, do they want to go back to like 2D graphics or something? Like, I don't understand it.
No, it's still all going to be in 3D. It's just more of a.
Like, whose idea was it? And then everybody is like, yeah, you know what? That's true. It shortens the game or makes the game. Like, I don't understand how you, like, have a room full of CEOs and developers and, like, having a business meeting slash developer meeting and, like.
Well, there is a couple things that make sense that maybe you haven't thought about. Maybe you have. One, we are on a PvE server. In a PvP server, having flying, especially if you're not level cap flying, eliminates world PvP. It also adds in the bigger possibility of ganking. So it's kind of a double-edged problem for a PvP server. Yes, you can get to the fight quicker, so sometimes having flying means you can get a group of people together really quick if something big breaks out. But on a one-on-one level, if you can just res once and fly away, it means you don't get camped. So that eliminates camping, usually.
I suppose, but.
So it adds in kind of an extra little curve for PvP. Two, they added in because, whether or not you want to say it's because of or not, other games giving players more of like jumping puzzles and maze type things in order to find certain cool stuff. They added in a lot more of that with us beginning in MOP with the island and also Thunder Island or whatever the hell it's called. So because of that, they didn't use flying there. If they did use flying, in addition to the fact that you'd get these treasures easier, it kind of makes them not cool.
Well, I'm going to jump in.
Go ahead.
Do you think they put too many of these jumping puzzles and such in?
Yes, I do.
Yes and no. And again, I was kind of saving this part for the next part that we were going to talk about, but I do think that there is probably more than would be required, especially because we're supposed to be seeing a lot more of them in the jungle coming up too. I would say the way they are right now is fine, but a bunch more is kind of ridiculous. However, I think there are players who are really interested in that kind of thing, and I am not one. Just like you guys were talking about flying around, looking for cool stuff. Yeah, if I'm in a mood, I might do that, but I'm just going to log into a different character and start leveling it, or find a raid to get into, or do a dungeon. I'm not going to just fly to a random area, and that's what's different about the way that I play the game, and in a sense, that's what's really cool about the game. People play the game in many, many different ways and find fun in different ways. And the thing that's really kind of bad about this is there was a very large percentage of folks who feel like not being able to fly is taking the fun out of the game for them. And Blizzard is saying that you not being able to fly in general should make the game better. And they don't have a way to really quantify that. Mm-hmm. So people who want the flying are like, you're full of crap. You're just not listening to us. I'm going to quit. Which, I can understand it, but I'm not one of those people.
Yeah. For me, the way it got phrased in the article, where flying makes the world smaller, well, guess what? We're max level. We don't need to do the quests anymore.
Exactly.
We're doing the quest because we feel like it, we're bored, we want the achievement for Lore Master, blah, 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 whatever reason there is. We don't need the XP anymore. We're done.
See, and the answer to that argument to me is gated flying, meaning you can get flying, but not only do you have to be max level, you have to have finished everything in that zone, you have to have found 80% of the treasure or whatever.
I agree with that.
I was perfectly fine with no flying up to 100, no flying to the patch, having something to do 6.1 to get flying that was going to be not easy. Some other idea, you had to have already explored the entire continent. You had to have lore master for the continent. Just that way
Whatever
you've,
gating they want to put in,
yeah,
I
you've
think that
experienced
ultimately-
it.
which that could be their compromise.
And the thing
Okay,
is,
well, this
you
is
would
the deal.
have to
You
do that on
done
every
this, and this
character.
on- Well, I imagine they'll have something like that. I don't see them making an account bound until you're at least level capped.
Yeah. Once you're level capped, it would. Yeah.
It could be account bound at that point.
Yeah.
Whatever the other gating is.
Yeah.
But I could see gating being a compromise that they come up with, and they say, okay, well, we really don't want it to affect the leveling process. We really don't want it to affect you being able to see everything
Well-
that is meant to be seen. So you have to do A, B, and C in order to earn flying.
And honestly, other than Cataclysm, where they couldn't make you not fly,
Yeah.
we haven't had flying during leveling ever.
Right.
Cataclysm only had it because of you were already on the continents. You couldn't not
Right.
put it there.
Which is part of the reason why this was not a big deal from the start, because I think almost everybody was expecting it to come in 6.1 or at
Yeah.
some point when you were capped. And then when it didn't come, everybody's like, what the hell's going on? And then
That's
just
what
like,
they told us.
yeah.
So,
Well, what they said is we're thinking about it. It won't be at least until 6.1, but we're thinking about it. We're not sure,
Yeah.
is what they said. They never officially said, you're going to fly in 6.1.
No, they
said we're
they-
thinking about it, and if it happens, it will either be 6.1 or later.
yeah, the only thing I remember was 6.1 would hold the quests to start if they were doing it. But
Right.
they
Yeah.
didn't say when it released. They just said during 6.1. So if we got a patch the day before 6.2 came out, technically speaking, they
That's
still
true.
6.1. But
Yeah, we'll see. I have a feeling that they will backtrack at least somewhat. It's going to be funny to see what degree they do and what type of gating, if any, is added in.
if they want to make the treasures so you can't fly to just land on them and pick them up, I can't imagine it'd be more than a few lines of code saying you must touch the ground at this point, this point, this point. That is required.
Yeah.
There's a better idea for that, and I'm just going to spill into it because I waited 4 times. All right, so we're gonna go into the currency overview next, which I was waiting for that for this part. But for me, it's simple. All of those treasures in the future, when they're designing them, need to be the currency that's only valid during the first patch. Whenever they add in a new currency, like they're about to do in Biftan and Jungle, we've got a bunch of new currencies that we're about to talk about, then that currency doesn't matter anymore, and that's what should be in the treasures that you can now get to flying, if they gave us
That's
one.
a good idea. That's a
Because then it doesn't matter if they're easy to get to anymore, because that's kind of worthless, unless you just capped.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I mean I completely agree. Biftan and Jungle is getting its own currency stuff.
Yep.
I mean, we're still having the Pexus crystals, but
Yep.
more of those. And for the record, I know I can't fly, but I still want the 150,000 Apexis crystal mount. Because it's a mount and I collect mounts. And then,
How
and
far
then
are you in that process of your 150,000?
well, seeing as I have multiple tunes, and I know they're not shareable, so I can actually collect at different rates. I'm using my garrison, and anytime I see a Apexis crystal, I'm sending it 100 with 100%. My highest I think is at 23k.
That's not bad. You've got a pretty good head start. I've been doing them as well, but I've been using Apexis crystals to buy my extra rolls.
I've been using garrison resources because I cap that every week too.
Yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth, depending on which tune.
Yeah, I mean the smart thing to do if you're not gonna go on after that mount, because you only get 60,000 Apexis right now. So if you're gonna be close, do a mission or two of Apexis and then do a mission or two of garrison resources. But the prime way to do it, especially if you don't want to pay gold, is one of each.
That's true.
So,
It is a cool looking mount, though.
oh yeah,
That-
I mean we've seen it. It's just a reskin, but it still is cool.
Yeah, the fell really comes off well. Whenever they do the green, it looks good.
So yeah, the currency stuff we mentioned. Apexis aren't going away because why
Which I
would
saw a
they?
tweet about one of the other currencies, the oil barrels, because people were tweeting about the oil barrels and how difficult they were to get through missions. And the tweet that I saw, I believe it may have been from Watcher, was that was only one way to get the oil barrels was through missions, that there was going to be multiple other ways to get the oil barrels.
Yeah, I would imagine they're gonna probably be out and about, like at the shipyard when you get there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you go out and find them like anything else. But yeah, so right now it doesn't actually say how much stuff it's gonna cost to build the shipyard or anything like that.
I don't think that's finalized yet.
Yeah. But
Yeah. Originally, it was like 5,000, right? 5,000
Six.
garrison resources or something like that.
6.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then more resources to build the ship. But, you know. Yeah, let's see. Apexis daily quest in Tanan Jungle will reward 600 oil. So, yay, more dailies.
Yeah.
Rare spawns can drop them out there. Much like the rest of the place. There's bonus objectives for like not treasures, but just those when leveling. You just find the 2 swords that were crossed and go over there and kill extra stuff, and oh, cool bonus.
I like those.
Yeah, those are nice, but it made questing less the second, third, fourth time through.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah. There's a certain quest that if you complete it during the Apexis bonus event, you'll get 1,000 oil. So keep an eye on that, because doing the missions require oil, because we need another currency already.
Yeah.
Let's see, garrison resources. I'm not really seeing anything that overly stands out other than
It all looks pretty standard, except
Yeah.
for just like there's a lot.
oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There are new garrison missions in 6.2 that cost 100 resources to start. They will have unique items such as, it looks like a BOA or maybe even BOE. It doesn't have it's not listed. 300% experience gain. So
Kind of like that vial that one guy in Mop dropped.
there was 2 of them, but yeah.
Yeah.
There is a mount, the Colfist Grondling, which, by the way, cannot fly.
It's ugly.
It's a Grondling, so people want it.
That is in there because people were not able to get Pound Fist.
That's true.
It's consolation prize.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Blizz, still don't have it. Can you sometime maybe spawn it whenever I'm actually playing the game?
Nope.
That'd be great.
It's in queue.
15. 12 minutes, right?
Something like that. 3 days, 12 minutes.
Yeah. There's a toy.
I got mine.
Yeah, I know. There's a toy and a pet. So, yeah, for garrison resources, that's about it. Not a whole lot worth mentioning. There's a new bonus roll mechanic, Seal of Inevitable Fate, which I'm laughing at the name because just Inevitable Fate, yeah.
They just call it Seal of Doomed Fate, and it always gives you gold.
Oh, yeah, that would work too. But no, I mean, just we came back to Draenor hoping to, things were going to be different and change. It was even in the freaking opening cinematic, things change. And yet it's playing out almost exactly, with the exception of we're here and, Grom didn't drink the stuff. And we beat the crap out of all but one of his friends at this point.
Grom didn't drink the stuff yet.
Yet. He probably won't. Whatever.
Spoilers.
I didn't say spoilers. Just unless Gul'dan breaks him, he won't drink it. That's just how it is. Let's see. Yeah, just that. There's that new one, Dwarven Bunker, or the War Mill will provide one a week if you have a level 3.
Hmm.
Completing 5 time walking dungeons, either Burning Crusade or Wrath, during bonus events can get you one.
So here's the thing. I thought these bonus events were going to be limited
I
because that makes it sound like they're not going to be limited.
Well, it's a time frame. They're open like Friday to Monday.
Well, right. So they're open Friday to Monday and they rotate, and you won't always have a time walking dungeon. It's different stuff that you get each weekend. There's 2 different weekends that have time walking dungeons supposedly, and each weekend has different dungeons. So, and I didn't think that this was going to be a forever thing. I thought this was going to be a limited time thing. But having there be an achievement or whatever based upon doing them 5 times makes it sound like it's here forever.
Well,
Does it not?
not to me, but that's just because I remember back in Wrath when we had to go around and punch things in the face just to get our unarmed weapon skill maxed,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and they took that out. So
Thank you, Violet Hope.
yeah. Between that and the dailies, I literally on my paladin just took off and did the dailies without a weapon half the time, or whatever weapon I chose. So
I'm glad I didn't have to go through that.
yeah,
It was fun. It was crap, but it was fun.
yeah.
Time.
No, it was still crap. It wasn't fun, but it was different at least. Yeah, I don't really. Seal of Tempered Fate, blah blah blah. Will cost 300 gold instead of anything else. That's just exactly what it is.
The Tempered Fate is the current ones, right? So you know what?
Yeah.
Other than
Yeah.
buying them gold,
Yeah, buying with 300 gold. That's it. Or that's what it is in the
we
PTR
will
at the
still
moment.
have garrison missions for them though,
Yeah, possibly. The cap will go up from 10 to 20.
which is needed. I've got 2 characters who have like 2 of them done that can't complete it.
Yeah. For those rogues out there, you're getting more stuff you can pickpocket off of everything and turn into that one.
Shady dealer.
Yeah, your shady dealer guy. I don't know a whole lot about that, but
I do. You pickpocket something as a warlord's character as a rogue, and it gives you a epic item. You're like, oh my god, what's this? And then you right click it, and a dude shows up in your face. And, you're like, "Hey." And then you talk to him. He gives you a quest, and what you have to do is pickpocket a crap ton of like max level guys in order to sell him junk that's worthless to anybody else in order to get these coins. It's like a whole nother grindy crap. Not doing it.
What is there anything fun from the rewards?
There's a couple of things that are okay, but nothing really amazing.
Huh.
I don't think they could have made it amazing because then you're showing one class. Like imagine if it was a mount.
Yeah,
How many
that's
people
true.
who don't play rogues would be pissed off that they could?
well, I know paladins and warlocks would be because they don't get their own ever.
Mm, or
And
death.
Death Knights.
Yeah, or death knights. Yeah,
Yeah, so you know what? We should have a freaking mount.
I'm fine with every class having a mount that no one else can get.
Care. I just to me it's another waste of time. I did it like twice. I mean, unless you have pickpocket macroed into sap or macroed into your opener, what difference does it make? Because who really, unless they're purposely trying to get boxes for reputation, is pickpocketing all the time? Boxes for reputation? Okay.
Yeah, still working on Ravenhold.
Yeah, Raven. I can get it from Ravenhold. I can definitely understand that because insane titles very very cool. I get it, but other than that,
Yeah,
it's a mechanic that's not necessary.
yeah.
I still think it's cool.
And
I like that the fact that rogues can do things that other people can't.
And there is that one, the dice toy that you can only get through pickpocketing.
I think I already have that. War
Yeah.
Troll dice.
Yeah, there's two. There's 2 different pairs of dice. One of them is a toy. One of them isn't. I have the one that isn't, sadly.
Yeah, I have the toy.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a new thing called the Black Fang Claw, which basically, if you kill the Saberon people out in Tanan Jungle, including the area called Fangri-La, because we can't have an area without a law in it.
Uh,
Orgrilaw, I think, was in Blade's Edge. And it's basically Emperor Xiao Hao Part 2.
I never did get the rep for him yet.
It's annoying.
I know. It's even still annoying at 100, but you can just go in AoE stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, you get, once you loot 500 of them, you get an achievement, which is part of the meta to get the title of the jungle.
You guys probably have it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll get it. Eventually. Maybe. If they put flying in.
Well, I don't know. Theory of the Jungle is kind of cool. Maybe I will try for that one. Theory of the Jungle. I could rock that.
I want to get a name. Obviously it says of the, but I want to name a tune Welcome.
Haha.
Of the jungle. The jungle.
Yeah. There's going to be a new garrison follower, but they're not raising the cap.
Yeah.
So you can still have a max of 25. And right now, 14 of my 25 are treasure hunters.
Wow.
Good.
That's
Maxing
crazy.
it out.
Yeah, so I'm making a little bit of gold off of that. There's a new pet, there's a new mount. There is a way to summon a weekly rare boss type thing. 5, 10, or 25 Black Fang Claws will summon specific ones.
I have to
And
figure out people don't care about that yet.
yeah, that's how you do a certain quest, blah blah blah. And the only other thing, and I'm going to read it word for word off of this page, near the hub where you would turn in the Black Fang claws, near this hub you'll find Scholar, a tribute to the deceased Blizzard employee who gives you the Scholar's bag of squirrely treats toy if you talk to him.
That's cool.
So one more tribute from Blizzard, so that's always cool. I always like hearing about those.
Yeah, me too. That's pretty neat when they do that kind of thing.
And then, completely unrelated, Robin Williams' birthday is coming up next week after. I'm going out to the island on his birthday.
I don't even know where that island is.
I will take you out there, not tonight, but this week if I can, if I see you.
Awesome.
Yeah. But, yeah. Alright, so, there's that. So yeah, we're getting more flying mounts, which we talked about the 150k one. They have found another one on Archimond, however you want to say it. Mythic only, same as every other. It is a Sky Golem, but all fellarized.
It's awesome.
It looks cool, I'll give it that,
I really want it.
but it's a flying mount, and we don't get flying.
Yeah, but those things, those golems, the way they walk and everything, is actually pretty cool.
That
So it's
that-
still pretty cool on the ground.
That's, okay, but still. It's a mount capable of flying, but not allowed to do so.
Agreed. I give you credit on that. It's another flying mount, but it's a flying mount that looks cool when it's on the ground. Most of the flying mounts, not all, but most of the flying mounts look dumb when you walk on the ground with them. There's a few of them that are really funny, like the derpy dragon with the rockets on its butt. It's pretty funny if you walk around with that one.
It's kind of funny no matter where.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, but they usually look kind of stupid if you have a flying mount on the ground. Like the rocket, 3 feet off the ground, that looks dumb.
Yeah.
But
Any of the dragons.
looks cool.
Yeah, any dragon that's not in the air looks kind of silly.
Yeah.
Alright. So, yeah, I mean, we touched on it earlier. You mentioned teasers and all that.
Mhm.
It was Blizz Pro was reporting earlier today, or was it yesterday?
I think it was yesterday, last night, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was yesterday. They reported from another site, which I won't link to because I don't know how safe it is, that the Warcraft movie is scheduled to have a teaser trailer in front of Jurassic World. Which, if I remember correctly, haven't we been saying that for like weeks now?
Somebody said it. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. I've been
That would
calling
be
it.
awesome.
I've been calling it for weeks. I mean, it was either that or the Avengers, and then when I found out Jurassic World was Legendary, I was like, that's where it's at.
Yeah. It definitely makes sense to be there, at least a teaser. Even if it's just a 30-second
That's all it's going to be.
craziness.
It literally will have the logo and possibly 5 to 10 seconds of footage.
I'm thinking it may be a little bit more based upon the photo that we had last week. Like whatever scene that photo's from with what's his name? I forget his name. But whatever scene that is, they could show 30 seconds of that scene.
Yeah.
And that would make people freak the hell out.
I mean, it's not going to be any longer than 45 seconds.
Yeah,
That's,
I
that's
think you're
pushing
right.
it for a teaser. Most teasers,
Especially a year out.
yeah, most teasers are like 30 seconds long. The most notable in my memory was from Dark Knight. Had no film footage whatsoever. It was 100% audio, and then the graphic. That was it.
Yeah. I think we'll get a little bit more than a graphic.
Oh yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get something.
right. That 30 seconds probably what we're going to get, but
Yeah.
that's going to be still lauded all over the internet.
It's gonna Legendary. They're not usually big on doing it, but I can imagine they will this time. They will be hunting YouTube down and being like, "Hey, get this off right now."
Really, on a preview? Why?
Oh yeah, they do it for previews too.
It doesn't make any sense to do it on a preview. That's advertisement for their movie.
In terms of previews, they would probably have like for opening weekend only is what they would do it for. Get it off of the internet for opening weekend.
Oh,
We want
yeah,
we
because
want
they're
people
going
to go to see this movie.
Jurassic Park for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see it for like opening weekend, but like a week into it, I would imagine it'll be everywhere.
Yeah. So for that first weekend, it'll probably be all, get that down. Flag that account.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. But
Cool.
yeah.
It'll still be awesome.
Yeah. I already told a couple people I'm going to see Jurassic World the first day I'm available to go to see it.
Yeah, my wife usually does not go to the movies much, but she really wants to see Jurassic World, and then the fact
She
that
just
it's
wants to see
probably
Chris
will have
Pratt.
it. Maybe. I don't know.
He's all, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna go see the Warcraft preview. She can watch Chris Pratt.
It's Jurassic Park. I mean, I'll be honest. I love Jurassic Park. All the Jurassic Park movies, even the stupid one, were good. So yeah, I'm all about
Which
it.
stupid one do you mean?
One where the dinosaurs came to our cities.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Yeah, that one was stupid.
Yeah, that was really
The
bad.
whole second half of that movie didn't need to exist.
I don't think
No,
I saw
neither
that
did
one.
the first half. Let's
The
face it.
first half was, second half was stupid.
And then the third movie didn't need to happen either.
I didn't mind the third one so bad.
At least
I
Sam
thought
Neill
that was
came back for that one.
Yeah,
That was cool. But other than that,
off the subject.
completely unrelated. So, as we've been saying, go see Jurassic World. Warcraft movie trailer should be on there. If there's more than one copy at your theater, ask someone who works there before you get your ticket.
What difference would it make if there's more than one?
They have, having worked in the movie theater business, I actually know how this works. It's copy 1, copy 2, copy 3, copy 4, etc. and so forth will have its own list of movies that'll play. They won't always be the same.
Previews, you mean?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
That seems dumb, but okay.
Well,
I'll take your word for it because I don't know, but that seems.
it makes 100% sense because they were like, well, we want this trailer on 97% of your copies of this movie. It's a money thing.
Standpoint. Okay.
Yeah, it's a money thing. Cause
That makes sense.
Yeah. But
That's
being that it's Legendary, Warcraft is probably going to be the last one on there, and it will probably be
Yeah,
on every copy.
it probably will be on all of them because it is their movie.
Yeah.
They won't have had to pay for it.
All right. So that'll be that. as listed in the show notes here, discussion number 2, since earlier we did what we did like about this expansion, what don't we like about this expansion? Flying is not an option here. Or no
Yes,
flying.
Flying.
No flying is not an option of saying here. So literally it's what's in game right now and what we see, and like I said, no flying is not allowed to be an answer. Scarlett, go.
I have a love-hate relationship with the garrison. I think it's a cool idea. But I don't know what else to do. I know people are going to say, go farm old raids, oh, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. I just get super bored. So I honestly think that the garrisons are a love-hate relationship. And I am not a fan of the jumping puzzles, explore the world thing that they made us do, only because it doesn't seem as fun as even Timeless Isle. It does not seem as fun as Timeless Isle, and I hated Timeless Isle. But now, I don't know. I would just go back to it. So, that's what I like and hate.
Yeah. I mean, Timeless Island had a couple jumping puzzles, but they were relatively easy.
Yeah, they had the
Yeah.
rope line. You had to
Yeah,
cross
there was
line.
the rope one you had to
The-
walk on. There was the jumping on the pillars.
Yep. Mount up for this one. Dismount for
The
this
rope one wasn't that bad, though, when you had the engineering thing.
Yeah.
But, again, it was only like 5 inches away on your computer screen.
Yeah.
It wasn't like halfway across the world on a glider.
Yeah. And with the rope one, you could literally point your camera straight down.
Yeah. Made it a lot
Yep.
easier.
Yeah, that's what I did like every week whenever I bothered doing it.
I only did those once. Once I got it one time. I never did that one again. The jumping one on the pillars I did every week because I needed what was in that chest.
Yeah. Is that all, Scarlett?
Yep.
Alright, how about you, Theory? This expansion, not flying, what don't you like?
I would actually like you to go first because mine's going to be a bit long-winded.
We're used to you being long-winded. Go ahead, it's fine.
Okay, all right. So the main thing that I'd like to talk about, because there's lots of little things that I don't like in the sense that I think they could be better. But the main thing that I'd like to talk about with this time is a change that has happened over 3 different expansions. It involves a couple of different things, and most of it kind of works together. So to me, it kind of seems like more of a solution. I don't like the fact that doing dungeons gets you pretty much nothing now, unless you're a tank. I don't like the fact that crafting professions can be done whether you have a gathering profession or not very easily for some of the crafting professions because of the garrisons, mining, herbing, samples. I don't like the fact that most professions are toned completely down and useless. I do not like the fact that gearing has such a broad spectrum of differences where the loot tables have gotten enormous from what they used to be because of all the different types of changes with the different stats. I did not really like what we used to have with reforging either, but if I had to choose between 7,000 different pieces of loot and 1,000 but you can do reforging, I'm choosing that. Because to me, simplifying the loot is a huge thing that Blizzard needs to do. And I don't think they realize it yet at all. So with those things said, I actually have an idea. Previous expansions, we had the ability to run dungeons to get points, justice points, valor points, whatever. And they kind of did away with that. But no matter what, whenever you did one of these dungeons, there was some type of reward that you could use. And for a large portion of the expansion, it was actually good to get this stuff because the things that you could get from it were actually going to help you. At the end of the expansion, yeah, you're buying crap to sell. But for the majority of the expansion, you actually could use those points to get items. My thought is this. Moving forward, instead of having points, instead of having, tokens or whatever, limit down the amount of drops that we're having, but instead on each boss kill, we should have armor scraps. And those armor scraps be used with a crafting person to create the gear that you want. So the grind would be on the actual profession person to get as many of the recipes as possible. Hopefully not a terrible grind in the sense that they don't have to jump through huge hoops to get what they need to get, but in the sense that there's going to be a lot of recipes so that you can get the right kind of gear that you really want. But instead of doing bosses over and over again with gold bags being the only thing of value that you're going to get, you get armor scraps, a certain percentage, depending upon how difficult that boss is, that you get, that you build up, that you use to get the gear that you really want and the stats that you really want. And that crafting person then becomes useful again. And doing those dungeons that we don't do have become useful again. So that's my thought. I don't know if they could really do it in a way that it would work. And I know, Draven, you probably have some ideas of the reasons why it wouldn't work. But I would really like to see something similar to that rather than what we have now.
No, I mean, overall, I like the thought process. I like the idea of it. But I know the player base, if they're getting scraps and not actual gear, they're going to lose interest real quick.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think that it would replace gear entirely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's still gear that drops. But instead of having a loot table of, 1,000 different pieces, literally, you have a loot table of a couple hundred, including the tier. And those are what drops in the raid. And the more specific items like belts and boots and non-tier piece type items are the ones that you collect the scraps to get in order to create.
Now, in your thoughts, will heroic dungeons drop the same scraps as raids?
Same scraps, yes, different quantities.
Okay, so you're talking the same currency for an entire expansion.
Right, but different quantities based upon what you're making. So if you're getting a mythic piece made, for example, it's going to take several thousand scraps to get there. Yeah. But if you're making a dungeon level piece, it may only take 100.
Yeah, I mean, me and you talked about this the other night.
Right.
Real brief. You mentioned something like make him BOP except for to a crafting person or something like that.
Right. Which would be difficult.
Honestly, the only way I could see that working is if they condensed all the professions into one profession and just called it crafting.
Okay. This is why I don't think they need to. Right now, your leather worker makes leather and mail. Your blacksmith makes plate. Okay. And also some weapons. Your, what are they called? Scribes make some weapons. And your, what are they called? Not herbalists,
Tailors.
but the other ones. Not herbalists, but alchemists. Alchemists make trinkets, and then tailors make cloth. So you could keep all of those, and they can all make.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say jewel crafters get what they have now, and that's neck and trinkets or neck and
But
ring.
you could even add it into jewel crafters if you wanted to, and say that they need armor scraps to make epic gems. So an epic gem, they can make regular gems and rare gems, but if you want an epic gem, you have to have 500 scraps or something like that with it. They could very easily do that too, if they really wanted to bring them into play also. But then at that point, all of the actual crafting professions use this one source that's really more dependent upon total than where it came from. But your dungeons would still give you something of value.
Yeah.
So they would be worth running again.
Yeah, my issue with that particular way of doing it, though, you're either going to have the people who, pardon the phrase, have no lives and are running nonstop to get this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you make them BOE and they go on the auction house. Well,
I do not think it would work if the scraps were BOE.
Yeah.
If the pieces that you made were BOE, I could understand that. Because then crafting people could then make their own and sell them, which I think is a good idea. But the scraps themselves need to be bound somehow to the owner or the crafter. And just like, for example, when you have a piece enchanted by an enchanter in the non-trade window, maybe they could just utilize that. Put it in the non-trade window, they put in what they want to make in the trade part, and then it does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that they could do it.
Yeah. The only other option, make them BOA, so that you, like in my case, I have every profession. They're not all maxed anymore because
So you can make your own gear.
yeah, so I can make my own gear.
I
And
think
then-
there's
That's a
something
good
said
idea.
for that, but you're also giving folks who don't play multiple alts. Like Scarlet, for example, has her one DK that she plays almost all the time, and a couple other ones, but she mainly just plays her one DK character.
I'm
She
just-
would be a little bit gimped if they were BOA because she's just got the one that she's focusing on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just thinking of ways to get around the, well, they're bound to me. I'm urban mining. What do I do with them?
Yeah.
Okay, well they've made crafting professions so easy to level up, you don't even have to leave your garrison to do it anymore.
Yeah, my
Switch.
my second rogue is
You have 2 rogues.
yeah, I've got one on Airy Peak because I didn't want to pay money to transfer my other rogue over to Airy Peak.
Mm.
But I'm not really doing much with that one. But yeah, that's why I have 2 rogues, and I've got 2 or 3 of pretty much everything else, but only 2 rogues total. But yeah, I've got. I was just trying to think of ways to get around the. Excuse me. What do I do with them? And yeah, you could level up your professions, but honestly, overall,
And
it's,
if,
it's not worth it because they completely screwed gathering professions this expansion. Everyone got rid of them, and now gathering professions is the only way to get this new thing for gear upgrades.
and fishing, but yes.
Well, I think that fishing technically is a gathering.
Well, true, but everybody has fishing, whether or
Everybody
not
can have fishing, yeah.
right.
But yeah,
The thing is that they made professions so useless to a point that it's just not necessary anymore, and people have switched to what they really want to play with. So maybe it's a matter of having a profession crafter in your garrison, like we have the ore traders and whatnot that
Yeah.
come. Maybe they have a crafting trader that comes through, and it's a different one every couple of days, and they can make the gear for you with your scraps.
That's a cool idea.
or you get the scraps. There's a trader that buys the scraps and gives you whatever, like if you're
Crafting
trying-
material.
whatever
Yeah.
crafting material you would use.
That would
And-
work.
Yeah, that would work. I
But
still.
I mean, the whole idea is really to fix multiple things. It's not just one thing that's broken for me. It's several small things that are broken.
Yeah.
And bringing something like that into the game would kind of shore up a lot of those ends that are kind of being left loose right now on
Yeah.
purpose.
I can't think of any right off the top of my head as long as the bosses are still dropping gear. But I can guarantee you there's something I'm not thinking of that someone would complain was broken.
Probably. And they'd have to put a lot of thought into what's the difference
Yeah.
between a dungeon boss versus a raid boss. I mean, this is just the beginning of the idea.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the completely thought out idea.
Yeah.
But, just a thought.
Yep. And do you have anything else you want to complain about for this expansion?
Not really. I got to be honest. I've liked it for the most part. I mean, you and I have talked about a few different things. The only other thing that I could even think of that I really don't like is the item level ramp up. I mean, the item level ramp up, we go from near 600 at cap to 700, and we're not even done with the expansion yet. We're at like 709 and 715, and all this kind of stuff if you're in Mythics or if you get good followers. So it's it's
Smart
that's
followers,
a
too.
big ramp up. Yeah, the itemization is to the point where they've caught themselves in a catch-22 where they have to make each tier enough significantly better than the tier before to make it worth doing it and actually feel more powerful when you get gear. But you now go from a character who probably should be able to do around 20k DPS to a character which should be able to do 80 or 100. Well, you're never going to bring the one that can only do 20 if you can get somebody that can do 80 or 100. That's just kind of ridiculous.
You were there this week in the raid.
Yes.
That warlock, that one trash pull in front of Thogar where you pull the entire room.
Yeah, and he was at, was it 380 or 480? Something like that. It was something crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
admittedly,
that's
it's
one
burst.
pull. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that is the point right there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if I can bring somebody who can do that on the trash versus somebody who's going to do 17, which one am I going to bring?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be bring the player, not the class. Well, now it's kind of bring the eye level. because you can't as easily carry somebody who's fresh versus somebody because of how huge those item levels have ramped up. But beyond that, I mean, I've liked almost everything else.
Yeah.
But it's such a big jump for a DPS who's fresh to try to get to the point where they're actually decent in the raids. And the way they're fixing it is by giving them gear,
Yeah.
which to me is like,
Now I will
you usually have a
counterpoint.
vendor who will sell you 650 gear in Tanan
Yeah.
for gold.
I will counterpoint your can't carry fresh.
I mean, you can, but you know what I mean. You would want
Now,
to.
bear in mind, this was in Heroic Blackrock, and it was the Asparagus Initiative, which we were working in Mythics at the time, but we went back to Heroic because we didn't have the 20 that week. Now, also bear in mind, the person I'm talking about getting the carry is someone people might know as Brutal Static.
Static.
So he knows the fight, he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He dinged 100 an hour and a half before we pugged him into our raid.
Wow.
So you, in theory, can. We had to throw a couple extra cooldowns his way to make sure he survived the fights.
Yeah, because his health pool was too low.
Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, like, I threw Hand of Sacrifice on him, just make sure he lived.
Just to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also an extraordinary player.
Yeah.
So him just dinged after an hour and a half was probably pulling 25 or 28. I'm guessing.
No, he was playing Fury? Or he was doing deep. He normally is a tank, I guess.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, usually.
And he was playing something he didn't know. So he was.
So it kind of wasn't. That's surprising because
Yeah, he was doing like
that guy's
50
really, really good at Warrior.
Yeah, he was doing like 15, 17, I think. I'd have to go back and look, but
17 for a freshly dinged 100 is actually not bad.
that's
It's not great, but it's not bad.
But yeah, and then what was really funny is two of the polearms, the agility polearms dropped, and we gave them both to him.
The agility polar? Okay, good.
Two of them dropped. We
Here's
gave
some
them both to
cool
him because
things
they
you
were an
can look
upgrade.
for days until you get something better.
Yeah. This will get you through until we get another strength weapon.
This will get you through till next boss.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, it was either that or DEM, so I was like, whatever.
Ah, true.
Yeah, because
There
I
it is.
already
pretty
have
much,
one.
Like,
so-
yeah, you can have whatever you want. Take it.
Yeah, I have one already on my paladin for transmog, so I didn't care.
Brutal's a cool dude. Is he going to
Yeah.
be raiding with you guys more often, or is
No,
this
it was just a
one
bug.
thing?
No, it was just a
Oh,
one-time
that's
thing.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But anyway, getting back to topic, you were done with what you don't like about this expansion.
Yes.
So that leaves my turn. Jump puzzles. 5 to 10 for the entire continent would have been great. 5 to 10 for 1/3 of a zone, not so much. I said no flying, we're not allowed using that, so I'm not going to mention that, but the fact that I can't fly is ticking me off too.
Just mention it.
I know. But that's why we're called Epic Fail. I can do crap like that. Yeah, the jump puzzles really is the big thing. The fact that was it John from Azeroth Roundtable actually pointed this out. In Nagrand especially. You start going up a path and you zigzagging up a hill, and then you jump over to this other hill, jump over again, try to figure out a way to get the goblin glider to go across the map, to get to another goblin glider to go across another part of the map, all the, however long it takes you to do it. But if you screw up one time anywhere, you have to start the entire thing over. Screw that.
Also, in the Grand, they had those areas where there was like 4 levels. So if you weren't on the, that made it a little tricky.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Nagrand is actually where I completely lost any interest in treasure hunting, and by that I mean the world treasures, not the treasure hunters, garrison followers. And a lot of the achievements, I just haven't wanted to bother to do this expansion because it's like, well, I can't get them all because I'm not going to go search for the treasures. I mean,
You were waiting for flying
I was waiting for flying for archaeology. That's 100% true.
and treasures.
For the grand treasures, yes.
Yes.
For the rest of them, there maybe a couple inspires. But in the grand or Gorgrond, I have almost all of them. I do have all of them in Shadow Moon Valley and Frostfire Ridge. I have all of them.
Okay. Everybody blame Draven. He's been queued, which is why no one can fly.
But Talador, I think I have about 3 left for treasures, and this is all without flying. And this is not even. This is. I mean, there's a couple of them that I thought about. I'll just get Aviana's Feather, go to a certain area, and get them that way. It's got a long cooldown. I don't want to have to do that over and over and over. But yeah, in terms of archaeology, not doing it. I'm a completionist. I want everything I can. If it is a mount, a pet, a piece of gear, one of my characters wants that piece of gear. Even if it is the ugliest piece of gear you can think of, one of my characters wants it. Why? Well, I might find a set that goes with and make an ugly set. My hunter is wearing Gronstalker, the one with the single eye looking around. You don't want to know why? Because it's ugly. I picked the ugliest set for my hunter possible.
I think that set's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's ugly.
It's
You have the
ugly.
shoulders to
Yeah.
go with it?
Hmm?
Does he have the shoulders to go with it?
I have the entire set for my hunter,
That's
who
cool.
happens to be a goblin, which makes it even funnier. But I mean, if it's an achievement, I want to get it. At the end of Wrath, I had, I think, 3 Wrath achievements left to get, and I couldn't get them because the guilds I was in at the time I couldn't get groups to do them. The heroic I did, the raids I did, all that other stuff. There was a couple PvP ones, and I have a lot of PvP ones I gotta catch up on still because I haven't touched PvP since Wrath. Early Kata. I don't know. It doesn't matter. At the end of Kata, I had all the achievements for Kata, minus 3, which weren't a part of a meta or anything like that. It was just random. Do it this way instead. Same with Mop. I'm done. Other than archaeology and Mop, I'm done with achievements. And that's just the pristine. That's all I need out of Mop
Wow.
for achievements. For Warlords, so I mean, I've got over 21,000 achievement points right now. Most of what I have got left is the PvP stuff and then current, but I don't feel the motivation this expansion to bother doing them. And that bothered me more than anything else. Because I don't have the time to sit there and do the treasure hunts for hours on end if I screw it up at one point or another. So then I got to start it over and do it again. I don't have the time or motivation to do it. So it's like, well, I can't do that. Screw this expansion. That being said, I'll go back to earlier. I do overall like most of the expansion. It's just these tiny little things that just eat at me that make me want to just throw things. Like,
But you realize that if they made those things easier for you to complete, it would mean they have less content. Meaning,
no.
it's easier for you to complete, so you're able to finish it sooner, so they're more likely to lose you as a player.
No, that doesn't mean they will lose me as a player. That means I'll actually do the
Like-
content that's in the game, as opposed to what I'm doing now, which is garrison, log off, garrison, log off, garrison, log through all my characters. And then, you know what I do? Exit WoW, get on my laptop, and play Heroes. So I mean, I'm still playing Blizzard game, but I'm not playing WoW anywhere near as much as I could be. So, yeah, that'll be my rant. Also, Eventbrite!
Forever feud.
Yes. So yeah, that's gonna be all for WoW. I mean, we've been ranting and raving overall for WoW for almost an hour and a half now, so we need to get moving. There is nothing Hearthstone, Starcraft, or Diablo this week. I've decided after this week, if there's no news, we're not mentioning them at all. So, that'll be the last time you hear about these games for a while, probably. So that brings us to Heroes.
Heroes of the Storm.
As per usual, free this week, Malfurion, Vala, Stitches, Arthas, and Tyrande. If you are level 12, Zagara. If you are level 15, Illidan. That's this week's freeze. Half off, we've got a new Barak, now about three and a quarter. The Love Bug skin of a new Barak, which came out this past February, is $5. You do get custom like bugs whenever he spawns as bugs, so it's not bad. And also for about $5, Roller Derby Nova, which I bought a bundle that came with it. I use it every now and then. I like the regular Nova skin better, but
Roller Derby is awesome.
oh yeah. Other than that, it was just posted earlier today, June 2nd through the 9th. Now this is when the game goes live. That is week 1. All you have to do is log in and play games. You get 25% XP free. So if it's a boost for free.
You suppose it's a catch-up mechanic for those that weren't in the beta?
I would imagine that it's just there because people like me who have been there since the beta are going to take advantage of it too.
True.
That's true.
But if you know that you're joining it, well, there's already people leveled, and you know that you're getting an XP boost, it's a little bit easier thing to handle.
Yeah, I mean, my character is level 40. I can't get any higher than that. So it's literally going straight to my heroes themselves.
Somebody today on Twitter posted a picture, and their character was 42.
That is something different. That is Hero League, and you start at 50 and work your way down.
Ah, okay, well that changes things.
Yeah. I'm at 48.
Hmm.
I don't play a lot of Hero League as much as I would love to. People don't like Abathur. That's my best character. It's really hard to get into a group that'll let you play Abathur. So that leaves me with Sylvanas, ETC, and that's about it. And they're usually one of the first ones to go. So I don't want to pick something I don't know, so yeah.
Makes sense.
All right. You guys haven't played Heroes, I don't think, this week at all. I keep trying to get you guys to play. I will play on the same team as you. I will play opposite you. I will figure something out. I don't care. It'll be fun, especially if I'm not on your team, because that means I can camp you.
No.
Another reason not to play.
If I'm on your team, I can help you. I mean, I would still help you either way.
Uh-huh.
It would just be whether I'm helping you win or helping you die. Overwatch.
Overwatch.
For the third week in a row, gameplay videos. Yay. The Tracer one, will it play? Yes, it is actually going to play. I don't believe it. And of course, it's not going to show up on my screen.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
Alright. So yeah, it's just going through. I'm going to hit mute real quick, that way I don't get in trouble for having too much of it. It's going through, and she's firing her guns and all that fun stuff. I will probably edit some video in, but this way, for those of you listening audio, are all, what are those weird sound effects? As was pointed out prior to the show. Oh, okay, yeah, it just crashed. So YouTube is now officially crashed for me. Yay. I know
It's
why.
not YouTube.
No, it's not YouTube. It's my computer for whatever reason. Part of it's crashing, but
You didn't get the joke. It's not YouTube. Anyway,
it's Eventbrite.
no. Although that's funny, that's not what the joke was. The joke was it's not YouTube.
Yeah.
In other words, you don't get to watch it because it's not YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, bad jokes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I just saw something we missed.
We missed
What?
something.
We missed the WoW selfie.
Oh, we did.
Week 2.
Oh, yeah.
So right now up on the screen is the picture posted. It is a Tauren jumping off of Dalaran with the sewer in the picture, and preferably
And
the
Floating Island.
and the floating island and the tree in the far background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's week 2, guys. Get out there. Which reminds me, Scarlet, take
I
care
will do
of
it.
that, because I heard rumors that you didn't manage to get the first weeks.
No, I forgot. So I will get the second week.
No BlizzCon tickets for you. You
Right.
better hope one of us wins.
Yeah. So yeah. There's
I did
that.
mine. It was fun. I liked the added either get a buff or be a mage or you're gonna die aspect. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm taking my mage to these.
I did not. I took my rogue, my main, and did it. But I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the funny part was I kept trying to pop my glider before I hit the ground. Didn't work. I died 5 times, so I got a picture. Like,
Well, at least you were naked and didn't take repair bow.
oh, I didn't get completely naked. I just took my shirt off. It did repairs, whatever. I mean, yeah, you're saving money to buy some mount that costs 700 million gold. I'm really not caring a whole lot about mounts that are more than a couple thousand.
Yeah.
So differences to me, I can pay my $200 gold repair bill.
That reminds me. I actually bought a WoW token this past week.
Oh, wow. For you or
Bought
to...
Ash bought gold,
Gold.
so
Oh.
you bought time for next month.
Yes, I bought my WoW time. Actually, it's already going.
Nice.
How much did you pay for it?
22K.
Not
was
bad
more
on
than-
the golden.
It was
That
more than
low
I
was
wanted, but
tempting.
yeah, it was more than I wanted. But I was like, you know what? That $15 a month, I can put somewhere else, like eat at BlizzCon fund.
There you go.
You know, they're flirting with something kind of dangerous with this, though. They're flirting with direct person-to-person gold selling.
And that's what it is.
No, direct. Blizzard out of the loop.
No, they
Because
won't do
they
that.
have, well, let me tell you what's already available. You have the ability to get their Blizzard store points or whatever the hell they are. Your Blizzard points, which is basically your account with Blizzard. So what's to stop me from taking 22 gold from you and then going in and giving you $15 of Blizzard dollars from my credit card? So I didn't spend 20 and I still got my 22K and you still got your free month.
Well, I mean,
Nothing.
yeah, I mean that kind of thing's been going on for a while, except for it hasn't been like
Well, the Blizzard,
Blizzard
dollar
balance.
just started.
it's called Blizzard Balance, but it's been
Yeah.
a little while. But outside of that, that kind of thing been going on for a while. I don't know who they are personally, but I know someone who sold a digital collector's edition code to a guild member of theirs for like 100K
Wow.
for Warlords.
So a digit for $100,000? What?
100,000 gold.
Okay.
Person gave or sold their digital code, not even collectors. It was the regular code. So it was like $60.
Okay.
That's a really good deal because if $20 is equal to 22K,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that time, that was the beginning of the expansion, like literally day 1 or 2.
Yeah, so the numbers weren't really there
Yeah,
yet.
the number.
Yeah.
But now that's my kind of my point is now Blizzard has decided what the gold is actually worth.
Yeah.
So now people can jerk the system and Blizzard doesn't get their $5 and they just take the middleman out and they can still sell the gold.
Yeah. But technically, anything that does not involve Blizzard getting their $5 at this point is against terms of service.
How?
You are selling in-game items for real money.
Yes and no. You are giving me 22 gold, 20k gold. I am giving you $15 of Blizzard dollars.
Yeah, but technically, it's written in the terms of service where if I give you gold and you give me anything that is not also in-game.
I think that would be an interesting scenario because both of those things are using the game to not necessarily knee-jerk mechanics. You're using the mechanics the way they're designed.
Yeah.
So I think it would be an interesting battle. So maybe you don't want to try that yet, viewers. Don't get
Yeah.
banned. But
Yeah, we don't want you banned. We would much rather you be in-game, and if you happen to quit because of no flying, well, can I have your gold? I had to throw that in somewhere. Alright, so I think that's about it for a show. We rushed through Heroes and Overwatch, but there really wasn't a whole lot going on there either this week. June 2nd, which is Tuesday, I believe?
yeah.
I think it's Tuesday. It's usually everything's out on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. That's when Heroes goes live. I mean, full on live. Everything's in there. Joanna the Crusaders rumored to be there too. So, go Heroes. And hopefully she's not very expensive because I will want to try her out. Not on my list of buy day one, but yeah.
Cool.
So, I guess it is time for our weekly shoutouts. So I will start. Ladies first, as always.
Shout out to my friend Frostfall again, and all of the CTR people. My shoutouts are short this week.
Yeah. And then we've got Mr. Theory.
Okay. Shout out to my LFR group that I solo tanked. That was a lot of fun. That's the most fun I've had in LFR in a really long time, and it was a blast. And we didn't wipe, so it was pretty cool. Good times. If you were in that group, thank you. Also, Hydel Volunteer Fire Department and the Chickens. Raiding with you guys, loving it. And that's about it.
And for me, I'm going to give a shout out also to the Chickens. I heard they got a new boss this week.
Yep.
Congrats.
Yes, congrats to you guys. I wanted to go. My power went out.
I'll tell you, it was a
didn't-
pretty crazy fight. We had some fun.
Yeah, and I didn't get my power back until the next afternoon.
Now, we will be working on Black Hand this week.
Yay. Other than that, I got nothing. I haven't really been social or in-game hardly at all. So, if you guys want a shout-out personalized from me, I don't know why you would, but if you're mental enough that you would want it, send us feedback. We would love feedback.
Or if you want your book on his screen.
Yeah, if you would like a copy of the book, you can find it at many great bookstores.
So next week you should put something that says rent space here. Your sponsorship could go right here.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. That's a possibility. I might do that. We've got the sign.
I'm gonna start putting shout outs up there that are like random so you guys don't see them very
Oh,
often.
that would be awesome.
Be like, shout out to Mega Code.
Yeah, that'd be fine. If you want a personalized shout out, we will more than happily take donations. we
Jackie, Scarlett, we shouldn't laugh at that because, yeah, that's all going to go right in Draven's pocket.
No, it would all
That's
go
true.
straight. It would all go towards the show. Any donation we'd ever get would all go towards the show, such as a mic for me, a mic for her.
Yeah, yeah.
And the website hosting. So
Yeah, it would go toward website hosting, getting an RSS feed so we can actually get on iTunes.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe
that's,
we'll have to link up with Patreon, see if we can get
Yeah.
something going with that. That's a good idea.
well, I have some ideas, but at the same time, it seems like it's too early to do stuff like that.
Maybe.
So, for those of you who want to donate, let us know. Give us feedback. If you just want to give us feedback, that's fine too. We would appreciate it. We would love it. We might come to your house and slobber on you. We don't know yet. Anyway, yes. EpicFailPodcast.com, podcastepicfail@gmail.com is the email. Scarlett, where can we find you?
CTR Guild on Airy Peak. And also at Scarlet_CTR on Twitter. Follow.
And click. Theory.
You can find me at Gank Theory. Hopefully, right down there. somewhere.
It's right under your chin.
Right there.
Yeah, yeah. And then me, as always, Draven Dresden over at the Twitter. I also am the one who runs the Epic Fail podcast. I think it's a podcast Epic Fail on Twitter, but if you see it, it's us. It'll have the EF, that kind of thing. Yeah, I plugged the website already. Send us feedback. Seriously, we want feedback. I don't care what it is. Just something. An idea. Email, a topic, a suggestion for the show, what are you freaks doing on the internet? I'd rather you not send that, but if you send that, at least that's feedback.
How about what you like about Warlord so far?
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
What you like, what you don't like. If you want to do both, even better.
We'd prefer you didn't talk about flying, but if you have to, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we are Epic Fail. Someone had to break the rule.
Draven.
Yep. So, do you guys have any last words for the week?
All said.
All said? Alright, well, in that case, the last words of this show, as per usual,
You know, the world could always use more heroes.